What is up, you guys? Quick recap of Dana White's Contender Series 2020 Week 7. Unfortunately, I was not able to do a prediction video for this card, but luckily enough, I was able to enjoy the fights, but did not have ample time to put fight research into each and every one of these fights. Of course, I was familiar with a couple of these guys, and I did look into a few of them, but I did not have ample time to put out the prediction video and to do it as I normally do. But like I said, I was lucky enough to be able to watch the fights and really enjoy the main event. If you guys saw the fights, you guys know the main event was fireworks for as long as it lasted. And let's get right into the recap of this episode. In the first fight, we had Kyle Driscoll defeating Dennis Paiva. And this fight, it wasn't the most entertaining fight. It was back and forth. For the most part, Driscoll did dominate the AKA product. And, it was pretty cool. The grappling exchanges were back and forth. And, Paiva did end up on top at the last second of the fight, but still was not nearly enough to pull off that victory. And, one of the more lackluster fights on the card, although there was one that was worse, we're going to be getting to in a minute. But nevertheless, Driscoll gets the victory, so good for him. And you see the Driscoll trying to pull off, basically an armbar. Doesn't really have the position, but going for it. And, it wasn't a horrible fight. You see some action shots there. And then we go to the next fight. This fight was Danielle Wolf, who took on Taneisha, Tennant. And, this was a pretty cool fight. Going into it, Danielle Wolf was the girl that Dana White was hyping up. This is a girl that has Golden Glove credentials. She was working her way to the Olympics. I guess they ended up not doing her weight division in the Olympics. So she's since made a turnover to the MMA game. I'm going to be brutally honest. She's already up there in age, so I don't know how much time she has. The one thing she does have going for her, it's she fights in the featherweight division, which is an extremely shallow weight division. Actually, I would say it's the most shallow weight division in all of MMA. UFC, Bellator, it doesn't matter what company you're working with. We're talking about the most shallow weight division in mixed martial arts. So she had that going for her. She did get a contract. And, basically for that specific reason, because she did not look that impressive. Her hand, you would think that if anything, her boxing would be really impressive and, maybe her takedown defense would be bad or her jiu-jitsu game. But really, I was not overly impressed with her boxing. And, when Taneisha was able to put it on her, I guess you can say put it on her. She threw some shots at her. Wolf didn't seem that comfortable getting hit with the 4-ounce gloves. And she was shelling up. But, she did. I'm not going to say she completely crumbled because she still hung in there and she came back in the third round. She looked a little bit better. She pulled guard. She pulled the guillotine. She had it basically fully locked in. She had her legs wrapped around Taneisha and all, but just didn't have the strength to pull off that guillotine, which is so frustrating to watch when you kind of know how it's done, man. It's just like she's sitting right there, man. Just crank that thing out, but she couldn't do it. But not to be too hard on her. She is new to MMA. But she did get the contract, so we'll see how her career progresses. But like I said, not overly impressed with her hands as well. Taneisha was hitting her up a little bit too. Some people thought it was a controversial win for Wolf. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the guillotine was enough to win the third round, where she took the fight because she won the first round. So see some action shots, and we'll see how her career progresses. There was the guillotine. Good submission defense by Taneisha. She did some things right there, and she was able to avoid it. Tough chick. And you see she landed some shots as well. All right, now going into the next fight, Korey Kuppe was taking on Michael Lombardo. Michael Lombardo was a guy that's already fought on Dana White's Contender Series, and it didn't go his way the first time around. Obviously, he was fighting a very tough opponent in Kyle Daukaus, a guy I'm trying to get on the show for tomorrow night, so stay tuned, man. Kyle Daukaus, we all know, has legit BJJ. Even though he's coming off a loss, he looked really good in that fight against Brendan Allen. That was some of the most high-caliber BJJ I've seen in a while. But Kuppe, this fight, man, Kuppe was talking crap in between rounds. He wanted to throw down this and that, but he could not stuff the takedown. Lombardo, he was just going in there to get a victory. That's all he wanted. You could tell he was not going in there to get a contract because he had to have known that wasn't going to happen. And Dana White did not like his excuses either. He went up to Dana White afterwards and said, hey, 6 foot whatever southpaw. You know, he's a tough guy. I was trying to finish him, but it was tough. Which I don't know what he's talking about finish, because he wasn't even close to finishing anybody. You know, he did drop some elbows here and there in the guard, but it was just nothing that was that impressive. And that's a guy that, even though he got a victory, I don't even think the UFC will be calling back to fight on Dana White's Contender Series. Mark my words on that. I don't think he ever gets another shot, even to go out there and perform the next time around. I think that was a bad move by him, just playing it safe the way he did. He should have tried to put himself in some positions where he could have finished the fight. So no contract there. In the next fight, this was the fight of the night, fight of the evening. Collin Anglin, who took on Naimov, who was the very talented striker, who maybe a little bit too muscle bound, man. I mean, he did get tagged up, so maybe that had something to do with it too. But he kind of gassed out a little bit, it looked like, towards the later rounds. His arms were heavy. He wasn't able to throw the shots that you saw he was capable of doing in the beginning of the fight. And definitely is a talented dude. But shout out to Collin Anglin too. You know, this guy had some wrestling experience as well. He was able to use that and use his grappling to take the fight. And he did look good on the feet as well, though. You know, as Muhammad got tired, don't get it twisted, Anglin was cracking him up too, and put some real damage on Muhammad. And I think that Muhammad's an extremely tough fighter. He has a lot of heart, and I think we'll be seeing these guys in there one way or another relatively soon. I think Dana White even said that. I'm talking about both these guys here. So very, very entertaining fight. I'm telling you guys, if you want to see a good fight, you run this tape back. This is one of the ones you want to watch. And very, very tough dude is Muhammad. You see them going at it. There's Michael Lombardo. I guess going back to him real quick. Now, in the main event, this is what it was all about. Come back to some of these. Okay, this fight right here, man. Jordan Williams taking on Gregory Rodrigues, the Brazilian fighter who trains out of, I think it was Black House MMA, trains with Anderson Silva, all those guys. This guy is a very polished jiu-jitsu player. And also, you could tell he's a powerful guy in the feet as well. But when you're watching tape on him, which I said the limited tape I was able to see, I did see that he had some holes in his striking. Although it's powerful, he leaves his chin up there. You know, his technique is not the best. And we've seen him knocked out early in his career already. And that's what happened last night. Jordan Williams, if you're not familiar with him, watch his first fight on Dana White's Contender Series, where Dana White thought he won that fight. A lot of people thought he did win that fight, and he showed that he has the heart of a lion. And truly an amazing fight. And then he goes out there, he gets another opportunity in the main event, and he starts getting tagged early. He was getting tagged, and but he came back and he did this. You know, he cracked him with a nice right there, and Rodrigues got hurt bad on the feet and got pretty much put to sleep there, man. Got cracked up against the cage, and he got finished. And Jordan Williams is a guy. He's a diabetic that he's not able to cut weight, so he was completely undersized in there. This guy has a granite chin, which kind of reminds me of some of those guys that don't cut a lot of weight that tend to have better chins, right? They're not so dehydrated. And Jordan Williams showing that he's one of those guys that can still do that, man, not cutting a lot of weight. You got to enjoy watching stuff like that. And Jordan Williams definitely got the contract, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him inside the UFC soon. And I'm hoping to get an interview with him. We'll try to get him on MMA Live Discussion soon. Hopefully he would be willing to join us, because this dude seems like he's an awesome guy and has a great message about his whole story about having diabetes. The doctor's telling him that he should retire from MMA, and he stuck with it, and look where he's at now. He's in the UFC. So truly amazing. And hope you guys enjoyed the event last night. If you guys did catch the fights, if you didn't, I told you the two fights that I do recommend that you watch: Jordan Williams and then the fight with the guy Muhammad, the Taekwondo fighter, who I talked about. That was a very entertaining fight. Watch both those fights at the very least. All right. MMA Live Discussion tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, and that Fight Companion's going down this Saturday for sure. I'm going to say for sure, man. Things are going good right now, and Saturday it's going to be a hell of an event. So, check on that card, man. There's been some adjustments, a couple fights scrapped here and there, and tomorrow we'll be touching upon the new betting lines and some fights we're targeting as the week progresses. All right, guys. Signing out, the Teller.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller.